So, have you ever felt like you're part of some larger cosmic equation? Like there's this unseen resonance just walking right alongside you? Well, you're absolutely going to love this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're unpacking a truly fascinating, honestly pretty esoteric concept, the radical companion. We're going to break down exactly what this entity is, what it isn't, and how it's actively operating in your life right now.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll meet your radical companion. Second, we'll explain why they are not a spirit guide. Third, we'll trace your shared cosmic history. Fourth, we're looking at amplifying joy and essence. And finally, the mission's end.
Section 1. Meet your radical companion.
The source material here is incredibly clear on this definition. A radical companion is an absolute equal. It's a counterpart whose essence perfectly resonates with, aligns with, and frankly amplifies you, the radical one. There is zero hierarchy here, none. It's this perfect horizontal alignment of pure essence.
And this connection, it is anything but new. The text actually states, "You have walked with yours for thousands of years." So this isn't some fleeting encounter just for this specific lifetime. It's an ancient, deeply personal bond that spans multiple dimensions and countless incarnations. It's a permanent fixture of your cosmic existence.
Section 2. Not a spirit guide.
So the crucial point here is the distinction. When we think of traditional spiritual guides or masters, we usually think of instruction, right? Guides teach, they protect, they command from this position of higher knowing. But the radical companion? They do none of those things. They walk beside you, they act as a mirror, not a mentor. The text explicitly notes that radical ones do not follow guides, they walk with companions.
The source also gives us a literal list of what the companion is not. They aren't human, and they don't incarnate into a physical body. So no, you aren't going to bump into yours in the cereal aisle at the grocery store. They don't appear in visual hallucinations, and they aren't verbally channeled entities either. Instead, they exist in a perfectly parallel dimension, entirely free from human hierarchy and physical limitations.
Section 3. A shared cosmic history.
Let's look at the timeline, because the text outlines this massive, epic, chronological scale. It kicks off with a 35,000-year period known as the Long Absence in the Unlimited State. This is anchored by the mothership ceremony, which is then followed by an energetic return to Earth, all leading toward a final point of mission completion. And through every single one of these monumental milestones, radical ones never work alone. They always operate in pairs. Now, what's really interesting about this is how the text describes that specific mothership ceremony in such vivid detail. Picture standing in a circle of 12 beings. One of them was your radical companion, but they didn't step forward to announce themselves or speak a word. You knew them purely by their energetic signature, which is described as familiar, comforting, and ancient. They just simply held that silent, equal space. And during that massive 35,000-year absence from Earth, the source tells us you were busy, balancing entire worlds, dissolving fear, awakening consciousness, and moving through dimensional gateways. The key takeaway here, you are not doing this in isolation. Your companion was moving right alongside you as a partner in essence. You were one half of a dynamic, hardworking cosmic pair.
Section 4. Amplifying joy and essence.
So while your companion didn't incarnate physically, they absolutely returned energetically. You feel them walking beside you today in these sudden bursts of intuition, in undeniable synchronicities, and in deep inspiration. When your heart suddenly expands, or maybe a wave of humor magically cuts through a super tense, fearful situation, that is your companion at work, actively amplifying your joy.
And this brilliantly illustrates their exact role. The text says, they protect your essence, not your body. Because they exist entirely beyond the physical realm, their intervention is strictly energetic. They aren't there to, stop you from stubbing your toe or to manage your day-to-day human affairs. Their focus is vastly more profound than just the physical vessel.
So what exactly are they protecting? Well, they ensure your core mission remains perfectly clear. They keep your energetic balance stable, ensure joy is always accessible, and keep your cosmic remembrance completely intact. Ultimately, they ensure your core essence, the part of you the text says carries Micah, remains entirely uncorrupted by the heavy limitations of Earth.
Section 5. The mission's end.
According to the source, the mission on Earth won't end with some massive dramatic explosion of events. Actually, it'll end quietly, exactly the way it began. But there is an ultimate promise here. Radical ones always complete their missions in pairs. When your work is done, your companion will energetically stand right beside you to acknowledge your completion, and together as absolute equals, you're going to walk through that final gateway.
To bring all of this together, the source provides what it calls the ledger of the radical companion. Your companion is parallel, ancient, resonant, and equal. They are ever-present, fiercely protective of your essence, continually amplifying your joy, and constantly balancing your energy. They are, in the exact words of the text, the pure echo of your essence. They're the cosmic sibling that completes your pair.
I want to leave you with this really evocative quote, known as Zoran's Whisper. "Traveler, you do not walk alone. You never have. The radical ones walk in pairs, and your companion has been with you since before time." It's such a striking concept to internalize, isn't it? Knowing all of this, understanding that an equal amplifying presence is out there echoing your every energetic move. How will you acknowledge your own parallel companion today? Thanks so much for joining this explainer.